because of your deal that you did with the Mauritians that would then tell the Chinese.
David Lammy panics as Reform MP drops a devastating truth. You're not going to believe what just went down in Parliament. David Lammy Labour's big voice on foreign affairs was left rattled, almost cornered, after a Reform Party MP stood up and dropped something that nobody saw coming. This wasn't your average debate. This was a moment that cut right through the usual political noise. And the way Lammy reacted, it spoke volumes. Because when a politician panics in plain sight, it's never just about the words spoken, it's about what those words mean. So, what exactly happened? And why are people saying this could shift the political conversation in Britain in a way that neither Labour nor the Conservatives expected? Let's break it down. The drama unfolded during a heated Commons session where tensions were already high. Britain's political climate is fragile, Labour is under pressure, the Conservatives are battling internal fractures, and Reform UK is carving out a louder space on the national stage. And then came the moment. A Reform MP rising with that bold, unapologetic tone the party has become known for went straight for the jugular. Instead of the usual back and forth over policy details, this MP threw out a blunt statement about trust, about leadership, and about the direction the country is being taken under Labour's watch. They said, the British people are tired of being told one thing before an election and seeing the exact opposite after. They're tired of polished speeches while communities struggle. And they're tired of leaders who talk about global values while ignoring the crisis right on our doorstep. The room went still. All eyes turned to David Lammy because as Labour's shadow Foreign Secretary, and a man seen as a potential future leader, the weight of that challenge fell squarely on his shoulders. And his reaction? Well, it wasn't the firm, confident rebuttal you'd expect. It was defensive, scattered, almost as if the Reform MP had struck a nerve. Now, here's where it gets interesting. David Lammy has built his brand on being outspoken, passionate, sometimes fiery. He doesn't usually shy away from confrontation. But this time, his voice cracked just a little, his words circled without really landing a punch, and the press gallery noticed. One journalist wrote, "It wasn't Lammy's words that told the story, it was his body language." He looked cornered. And in politics, perception is everything. For Reform, this was a golden moment. They've been positioning themselves as the truth-tellers, the ones who dare to say what the big parties won't. And when you get a reaction like that from someone as seasoned as Lammy, it gives Reform exactly what they want: attention, momentum, credibility in the eyes of disillusioned voters. Social media lit up within minutes. One comment on X read, "This is why Reform is rising, they say what others won't." Another shot back, Lammy's reaction shows Labour isn't ready for the real questions. But not everyone saw it that way. Labour supporters quickly defended him, arguing that Reform thrives on theatrics, not substance. One Labour insider reportedly told a political site, "This isn't panic, it's frustration. Reform isn't offering solutions, just slogans." Still, the clip went viral. And when clips like this catch fire, they don't just shape debates, they shape public mood. Britain is at a turning point. Years of economic struggles, migration debates, questions about national security, and a political class that feels disconnected from ordinary life, all of this is fueling frustration. Reform UK has been tapping into that frustration, turning sharp soundbites into political capital. And Labour, despite being ahead in the polls, knows that moments like these can chip away at their confidence. Because if a single exchange can rattle a senior figure like Lammy, what happens in a full-on election campaign where Reform has weeks, maybe months, to hammer home the same message? One senior Conservative voice even chimed in, saying, "Labour's problem isn't the Tories anymore, it's the insurgent voice of Reform pulling the rug out from under them." That's a warning shot, and Labour knows it. This wasn't just another fiery exchange in Parliament. This was a moment that exposed just how fragile the political landscape really is. David Lammy's stumble showed that even the most polished politicians can be shaken when the right pressure point is hit. For Reform, it was a win, proof that they can grab headlines and dominate the narrative with just a few well-aimed words. For Labour, it was a reminder that confidence in the polls doesn't mean immunity on the floor of Parliament. And for the British public, it was another glimpse into a political system that feels more unpredictable than ever. So here's the real question. If Reform can make Lammy stumble now, in a debate few people expected to matter, what happens when the stakes are 10 times higher? What happens when the election countdown begins, And the same devastating truths are dropped night after night, stage after stage, camera after camera. Because if this was a preview, the main event could be explosive. And the truth is Britain's political future might not be shaped in boardrooms or backrooms anymore. It might be decided in moments like this, raw, unfiltered, and caught live on camera. Stay tuned.